Hey YouTube, it's SoulPrime13 coming at you with another Transformers video review. Today we are going to be going over the Studio Series Constructicon combination into Devastator. This has been a long time coming and I'm definitely excited for it, and I'm happy that you're here to do it with me. And Bone Crusher is backwards. But yeah, essentially this is just going to be the full combination of the 6 members now that we have the full set. And let's just get right into it. So you're going to want to start with all of them in vehicle mode, and first thing we want to do is we're going to bring long haul forward, and if you haven't already, just detach that trailer. As far as the trailer goes, just going to take these guns off. These are supposed to go as scrapper, but I just keep them there because it's easier. Take off the black boxes, take off the fin pieces, and then we want to pop off this chest piece. And then we are going to fold this up and fold this up, bring that together. Going to unhook this whole assembly and bring it back. Then we want to untab these skirt pieces from the legs and bring down the legs, fold those skirt pieces down, and then as far as all of this goes, it's just going to sort of fold up, tab together like so, and there we have the crotch area. Then we are going to take these pieces, the 2 fin pieces and that center piece, and for this you want to plug it in here, and then you're going to bring it forward, and there's this teeny tiny little tab right here, super tiny tab, that's going to hook into this piece right here. So you're going to plug it in, bring it forward, and it'll hook in. And then same with the other side, just plug it in, bring it in. There we have his chest piece. Take the 2 rifle pieces and just stick them together like so. There you have his gun. Then for this, you're going to flip out the hands, flip down that peg, flip out the hand, flip down that peg. There we have all of the additional bits. So to start, we'll begin with the feet and Mixmaster. You are going to have to take his gun off because this whole front section unhooks and comes up and over and plugs into the front like so. Then you actually want to untab his hands here in the back, and unfortunately these kind of get in the way, so like the best motion is going to have them like out in the back, but if you want it to look a little cleaner, you can bring them down like that. But the ankle tilt, as you can see, bumps the arm, so but we are gonna bring this piece down, and you want to leave the scoop funnel bit out because that's actually going to help lock in the knee. But there we have Mixmaster how we need him. Then we're going to come over here to Scrapper. We can also take his gun off, and for me personally, I just plug it into the bottom of his foot in the back here just so I don't lose track of it. But we want to take his arms and untab them, and you're going to rotate them all the way down, and then rotate that down. You want to take the scoop piece and you're going to swoop it into place. Make sure that this little piece stays tabbed together, and then the arms are going to lock back in. There are 2 more little bits here on the sides. Come on, there we go. Just make sure that those lock in. And then we come up here, bend this back, rotate this around, and then bend it back, and these little pieces are going to sort of slide in. Although it's not the best secure bit, but normally you don't really need to worry about it too much because that's not where the actual knee is. But there we have Scrapper all done. Put him there. For Scavenger, you're just going to collapse that arm all the way I mean, you can leave it out if you want, but it's easier just to collapse it for now. Going to untab his treads. Untab the tread. Then you're going to take this whole silver black section here and fold it all the way out, like so. You're going to take this little piece and fold it up, like so. And then, for this part, we want to tab this back in, and we will need to bring down this little piece, and when we combine them, these little tabs are going to plug into his other foot, like so. But we will do that when he's actually attached. But then coming here, we want to take the right hand, no, the left hand, and we want to, there's a little post in there and a little port, and we want to just peg that on there. And did I do this right? Yes. You can just rotate that and then get it all oriented. And there we have one arm. For the other arm, we take bone crusher. Again, you pull the treads out to the sides. Gonna take this whole assembly and fold it out. Then can just plug those treads back in. And again, this is going to be the same situation. We have this little piece that folds down, and we'll tab into the other toe when we get to that part. Going to take the other hand, and this side. There are like two plugs almost. There's one here, but you want to cover the hollow side. And again, just a little port in there. And sometimes it can be, you just got to make sure you line it up because you're kind of doing it blind. And there's a lot more wiggle room. There we go. And since this is going to be this arm, and there we have the other arm done. Now, as for the torso, we are going to take Longhaul's gun, and I did not know this personally, but apparently this was shaped a certain way because you're supposed to take it and plug it in to Mixmaster, because apparently it forms like a little toe that he had in the animation. These guys are flipped. Now for Longhaul, what we're going to do is we're going to unfold his legs all the way out, and then we are going to take his arms out from the side, and then we are going to take this whole canopy piece, bring it up, and it's going to tab into itself, slot, tab, like so. Bring these up all the way to the side, and there is going to be a certain way to connect these. So there's a little tab here that's going to go into this slot here, like so. And then you want these tabs on his hands facing up. We're going to do that on the same, on the other side. Make sure I get this in there. Trying to make sure I stay in the frame because I'm sort of like bent over awkwardly above the camera. So if something gets out of shot, I do apologize. I do need to, I forgot to rotate these around. They can't really rotate very well if you don't do it beforehand. Okay. There we go. And I didn't actually get that tab back in properly. Would you stop being weird about it? There we go. And oh yeah. Come on. There we go. I'm pretty sure that's how that goes. We just sort of fold these over like this for now. Then we come to hook, and we're just going to sort of move that hook crane piece out of the way. We are going to untab his arms and bring them down, and you do want to fold in his fists then you want to bring the head out, because that's actually holding the two pieces together. And then when it's like this, you bring them out on double hinges, bring them around forward, and tab and slot will go together here in the front. Get this out of the way. And we do want to take this whole assembly, make sure it's all the way to the side, tab this together, then bring the head down. There are 2 slots and 2 tabs. Bring that together and make sure it clicks. Rotate the head around, lift this up, pull his face out, bring it back down. We can bring this armature back around, and then this piece folds out and clicks into place. Open this up, rotate this out, close this back up, make sure it lines up and closes all the way. Then, see, I think, yeah, then we got to fold out this post in his chest, and then we're going to come here to long haul, and you're going to have, hold on, having trouble keeping this in the frame and my back's getting tired, so at this point I'm gonna sit down. Okay, so this big post is gonna go into this hole. This post is gonna go into this hole in the foot, and then these tabs are also gonna connect here and here. Actually, you do want this arm still straight, like so. Yeah, we're gonna line up those smaller tabs as well as the bigger tabs. We're gonna bring this all together, make sure they all are coming together properly. Make sure I'm getting these in the frame as best I can. Yeah, let's see, this one's not lining up. Oh, that's why, because the arm came untabbed again. There we go. Everything should just sort of click and tab into place. And now, I'm gonna bring these legs down. Oh, and there is this tab here as well. I almost forgot, for the arm that's bent down. Now, we want to grab the torso. This big purple chunk is going to go right in here. You'll see there are 2 little slots and 2 guardrails, or guide rails rather. Get these up out of the way. Come on. And things are just flying all over the place. Slide those in. And you get that all the way in there. And then the legs are going to come down, and these 2 pieces here where the trailer hitch was, too far over to the side, these 2 pieces here where the trailer hitch was are going to slide into these 2 slots here, and like so. Then you're going to come up here, and in the feet there are these panels. I'm still out of shot. These pieces here are going to fold up, and they're going to hook into these slots. So, and back into that slot, and there we have the main torso. I'll go pick up that gun that just, man, working with a tripod can be a hassle. Oof. And I'm gonna give Hook his gun back because I don't want to lose track of that. It literally is just gonna be plugged on here anyway. There we go. Anyway, now on to the legs. For Scrapper, you're gonna separate these 2 pieces here at his legs. Actually, we need to bend this back because those are holding those together. That's why there's the little slots here. We open this up, and you want to bring it on from this way, and because there is some slots. You can see all of this sort of fits in a certain way, like so. And you're going to come over to this side, line it up, and you're going to sort of sandwich it together like so, and close it together in the front, and then this will lock it together back in place. So there you have one foot done. Then we're going to come to Mixmaster, and for this you want this big chunk right here to slide into that big slot there, just like so. And then you're going to close this up like so. Okay, yeah. And that locks that leg into place. So now we have that together. And as far as Mixmaster's gun, we're just going to plug that in the back here. There are like a bunch of different ports back here for all the guns if you want. Anywho, now for Scavenger, what we're going to do is essentially this bit here. As you can see, there's little slots on the sides. Those are going to slide in along these rails in here. And you're going to slide that on like so. You want to get it all the way, and then make sure you push it all the way down. And it's trying to come undone. You do want to make sure that you grab like the whole torso as you push this down. There we go. Because as you can see, this whole section is now trying to come apart. And I need to make sure to tab that all back in now. Then bringing the treads together will also lock stuff in. And also this tab here on Long Haul's arm is actually going to go into this slot here in the treads. So you want to bring that together, tab that there, make sure that I get this tabbed in, and we're going to bring these together, make sure to tab that foot piece there together, like so. I don't think that's... Okay, yeah, it's only tabbed in a little bit, but it's enough for now. Anyway, now for his other arm, grab Bone Crusher. It's essentially going to be the same thing. You're going to slide it up along these rails. The long arm's gonna, or Long Haul's arm is going to tab in here. Then you're going to hook this into the foot. But this side's a little more secure as far as the upper torso. Get that in there. Come around back, make sure that the treads are tabbed together. Come on, there we go. Make sure that it's tabbed into Long Arm or Long Haul. Then tab the two little feet pieces together. And come on. There we go. Just not getting it lined up right. I'm sorry that this is out of shot. I am having trouble seeing it from that angle. Come on. Why are you not tabbing in? I don't understand why it won't. That's why, because the freaking toes were open. Okay, now we bring that. There his arms tabbed together. Now we bring in this, and we're going to hook this on. These two tabs here and here on both sides are going to hook around the front of Long Haul, and then these tabs are going to hook into the arms and secure that. So we want to come here, and you're kind of have to like look at this on your own because it's hard to show it on the camera, but there are little divots on the front of him right here that are a little indented, and that's where you want to hook on the long haul. And you also want to make sure that these two little tabs go into this top slot. So put it in slot, hook it into long haul. This is probably looking a lot harder than it's supposed to just because my arms are getting tired from sitting all awkward. But then we push these in, and there we have Devastator all put together. Oh boy, is he glorious. But yeah, that was a little bit of a challenge working with around the tripod and everything. I'm sorry if things got out of shot, but I assure you it's not as bad as it looks. And of course you do have his gun, and he just has the regular ports in his hands. I'll admit that it is a little bit on the loose side. Just be aware of that. The gun itself is blast compatible, so no, it's not. What the heck? Okay, it's not. I could have sworn it was blast compatible. I tried this already. Yeah, okay, never mind. That's weird. I was positive I had done that before. Oh, well, I guess not. Anyway, he does have very nice articulation. As mentioned, he does have the ankle tilts on both feet. So you can get him in a nice A stance with his gun flopping around. So there's that. And I can't remember, I think it was that toy guy asked Evan about why the knees aren't aligned, and it's so that the two bots don't bump into each other and scratch each other up. So that's the reason for that. But as far as articulation goes, he does have opening fingers on both hands, wrist swivel. He does have various degree of elbow. I mean, it is kind of collide with the front of the cab on this side. It's a little under 90, but he does have a full 360 at the God, what's it called? Shoulder. God, shoulder. He does have full 360 at the shoulder. If you want, you can pose the excavator bucket if you want. He does have some waist. It does collide with the back, but you know, considering everything, I think that's fine. I think he gets enough waist movement. He does have 360 at the head, although it is a little off center, so like sort of see it does look a little weird from that side. But yeah, you do get that. Yeah, hip skirts, ratcheted leg can come up that far. We do get 90 degrees of knee. We can come that far. Basically, we do get collision. We do get the splits, but we do. If he wasn't so big, I'd try and balance him and see if he could kick sludge, but either way, I mean, you could probably use a stand to do that. Yeah, let's see, is there anything else? I think that's about it for articulation. Oh, right, he does have bicep swivel and hip swivel, so there's that. Gotta put this back in your hand. But let's do some size comparisons, huh? Get to stand back up for this. Okay, moving back so we can get as much room as we can get. Just thought about it because I mentioned him, but didn't have time to transform. But here's Sludge. Doesn't fit as well because he's not in dino mode and he doesn't have giant googly eyes, but you know, there they are. Not really the right color, but here he is next to the Omega Supreme mold. Pull back a little bit so you can see them both. So that's how he stands up next to the Titan he once called friend. Okay. Here he is next to Stunticons, is Menasor, and you can see he is a bit bigger, though he does have an extra bot in there, so makes sense. And one last comparison I feel that is appropriate. Here he is next to Devastation Optimus. So that should give you an idea of how he stacks up next to everybody. Well, actually, you know, I do think I will grab one more just because I feel like it's only... Oh, okay. Things are attacking me. Here he is next to Megatron. Freaking Menasor fell over and dropped on my foot. But yeah, there is our finished Devastator, and boy oh boy is he quite the looker. Really satisfied with this whole set. It was actually very fun to put him together, and he is very stocky. I mean, I really like the heft he has, especially considering, you know, this is a mainline release. There's not like a ton of die cast or anything in here. He really does feel satisfying. And he's also, you know, fairly affordable. You know, when you put everything together, he's around, I think it was like $220, I think. His Commander, 2 Deluxe, 2 Voyagers. Yeah, it was around like, I think it was around like $210, $220 was the final price US. So, considering that a lot of third-party combiners will run you like $250 at the lowest, I think that's a pretty fair price. But yeah, I'm totally happy with him. Again, like I've said it in pretty much all my Constructicon reviews, you're not paying for the bots, you're paying for this. This is what you're after when you buy these. And I think he's pretty much got everything you want. The only thing I wish is that he could use Blastovex, but you know, other than that, you know, he's got really good articulation. You know, bouncing him might be a different story, but he's got like all the articulation you'd really want. You know, the fact that, you know, all the individual bots are pretty solid, everything comes together really nice. He feels very solid, very hefty. There's a lot to love here. And yeah, not much else to say. I'm totally satisfied. Again, this is my first full G1 Devastator. The only other one I had was the Legends class movie Devastator, who is broken, so I can't even combine them anymore. So I'm really happy to have this. I am super satisfied. And yeah, just the only thing that might convince me that to get another one is maybe if they release this in the yellow or orange colors, because I think those would look better in my personal opinion. But yeah, super cool bot. But I'll stop talking your ear off and wrap this up before I end up kicking the camera for the 10th time. And this is Soul Prime 13 saying transform and soul out.